everybody, and welcome to She's in Business TV Live. Today I'm really excited because the guest we have on is going to be talking to us about one of my favorite topics, and that is visibility. Today we're bringing on Crissy Connor. She is a social media strategist, visibility expert, and supports you in not only being heard, but actually getting seen and actually getting paid, right? Because you can be as visible as you want to be, but actually being heard and getting that into a conversion, turning that into a paid customer is a totally different story, right? That's always the challenge. So we're going to talk to Crissy today. She knows all the things about social media, whether it's organic or paid, lead generation, content creation. She is an expert in all the things that I know so many of you struggle to really conceptualize and to have a plan around. And here's the really cool thing about Crissy is that she's actually a self-proclaimed introvert. But what she does is pushes herself beyond that introvert role, that label that holds a lot of people back from getting really visible. So she's done 200 lives in July. She does 365-day live stream challenges. So she walks the talk. She puts her money where her mouth is. And I can't wait to hear more about what she recommends, especially for introverts to get really visible. But real quick, let's roll that intro and then we'll be back on with Crissy. Hey, Crissy, how you doing?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me, Kate.
Oh man, I'm like so excited because everybody told me about you and they're like, oh, we got to get this Crissy on the show because like you guys are gonna totally vibe, and I love talking about visibility. It's like one of my favorite topics. So I love people who really specialize in it and have actionable steps and ways and methods to help, especially people who are introverts, because like for me, I will get on live streams all day long and just run my mouth. I am an introvert. I'll do that all day long. But for people who really have that block, it's a tough thing to get over. So I'm excited that you're here to tell us about you and what you do. So give us the story. Give us your entrepreneurial journey. Tell us how all of this came about.
Okay, quick version. In 2012, I started a business with a friend of mine, and we literally made skincare in our basements. Like we mixed the potions and did all the things.
Yeah.
We had no money, and so we bootstrapped everything. And so back in this business is where I learned really everything about digital marketing, social media, because we did everything ourselves. But the funny thing is that my friend pushed me constantly. She applied for us to be on Shark Tank. Thank God we never got, because I was not ready for that. It would get us in magazines and the news station to interview us. And literally I would pray every single night, please do not select us. Like, I can't handle it. Like, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to make my measly little couple $100 a month. Yes, true. And I just was not ready for the spotlight. I was not ready to put myself out there. And obviously that business was the business I learned how to do everything wrong in. And I wasn't willing to get out of my comfort zone. So after that business folded, I kept getting a lot of friends asking me, can you help me with social media? You did this for your own business. And I was like, yeah, this is so easy. Like, I'm totally like getting all these clients. But then there comes a point, and many of you probably listening, that you cannot take on any more clients. Yeah. And you're kind of stuck at this revenue, right? So it's either increase the prices for everyone, bring on a team, or start selling more passive products. Yeah. I knew passive products were the way to go. And I had my first launch and it bombed. It sucked because nobody knew who I was.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Yeah.
And it was like, dang, I don't know what's going on, but nobody wants to buy from me now. But I have all these clients that keep, referring people to me. And so I realized the thing I was most scared of at the time, the most uncomfortable thing I could imagine, was putting myself on video. And so I said, you have to do this. Like, you have to do this. I remember trying to record a video. And I'm an so if anybody else watching, if you're an ummer, like you'd say like a million times, raise your hand, because I feel your virtual hand raised. And so I recorded this video, and 4 hours later, trying to edit it I was like, this is embarrassing. This is ridiculous. I can't do this. And it was about 2016. Facebook Lives were super popular then, but I could not get over my crippling fear to get on video. Like I couldn't do it. I had obviously the fear of the fear of people were smarter than me and knew more than I did about social media. People would make fun of me. All my friends who had no idea what this business owner life was like, they would make fun of me. I was also a recovering perfectionist. So the whole thing was just, that's all I could hear in my conversations I was having.
Especially when you have to edit it yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So I decided back in 2016, I thought I was like the shit. I was so smart.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to trick everyone. I am going to cheat at Facebook Lives and nobody's going to know. And so I know a lot of people know this hack now, but I went to my personal page. I took my privacy settings to only me, and I recorded a Facebook Live. And then I watched it like 50 times and then decided, okay, I'm going to edit the privacy and let my friends see it, right? Not ready for the public consumption yet, but friends can see it. And so I did this like 10 times. And it was total cheater because, again, back in 2016, Facebook Lives were super popular. People would message me and go, oh my God, I didn't know you were going live now. I'm so proud of you. I missed your live. I keep missing your lives. And I'm sitting here thinking, everybody's missing the lives, right? Like I'm totally cheating right now. This is a coward move. But you know what? I needed to do it because when I pushed that live button, I got these hives that just like came up and creeped up my neck. I still sometimes get hives. And it just like paralyzed me. It was so hard. So the 11th video, I said, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. You're going to really go live. You have to get over yourself. This is ridiculous. Like you're better than this. And so because I still had the fears of my friends, I still had the fears of experts saying, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I had all these fears. I said, you know what? The only thing I can do right now is I have to go live about something I feel 100% comfortable with. It has nothing to do with my business. None of my friends will make fun of me, and I'm going to do it. So I went live and taught all of my Facebook friends that were friends and connected to me at the time how to make Jello shots. And I rocked that live. I rocked that live. When I look back, it's really bad. But at the time, I felt like I crushed it, right? And everybody was watching. I had no tripod. My phone was propped up on a bunch of books. I was yelling into the camera. I mean, I had no clue what I was doing, but I did it. And I felt confident because I could make Jello shots without a recipe. All my friends wanted to know how to do it anyhow. They wouldn't make fun of me. And then I could save money because they were going to start bringing them to girls' night out. And it wasn't just on me. So this was like a huge momentum like I needed to create a video and not have to worry about all these fears that I had. And then that really propelled me, along with other couple things, to be able to put myself out there even more. But it all started with that Jello shot video. Well, the 10 fake lives. And then the Jello shot video really propelled me into realizing that, hey, this video, I'm onto something. Video is where it's at. Visibility is where it's at. And so that's pretty much the short form of my story.
I don't think I could love any story about like getting good at lives like that more than that. Like that is so perfect because it really just let you just kind of shine, not worry about it affecting your business, not worry about people judging you, which is of course what we all think all the time, even though it's totally not true. But everything that you talked about, you know, we've been doing video marketing here for almost a decade. So we bring in, you know, coaches, consultants who have never really done much video, but they want to kind of shortcut their path. And they want to create an online course. They just want to get a ton of video done at one time. And we've shifted away from a lot of that with She's in Business and doing those kind of like big, you know, projects. But what I realized was that no matter how good somebody was, or no matter how experienced somebody was, all of those fears, it was like the same thing for all of them. No matter how beautiful they were afraid that they would look whatever, you know, like on camera. No matter how confident they were about what they knew, they felt like people who were ahead of them would judge them. No matter how much like amazing, how many amazing messages that they had to share with the world that could make the world a better place, they were afraid that their friends and their family would like think ill of them or talk behind their back. Like it was, no matter who they were, what they spoke on, how long they'd been doing it, how much money they had made doing it, it was the same exact thing. Once they got in that chair, it that those things just flooded them. And some of it was, not just one, not just one fear, but many. So how did you switch? And I guess what I want to hear is like, now that you've been really visible, like you broke through that for yourself, do you still have those kind of thoughts and fears? And how do you continue to get through them? If so, like, how can people start to switch their mindset around those kind of fears that are so common for all of us?
Okay, so I am not going to lie. For everybody listening, I don't jump out of bed every morning and say, I'm going to get on video today and I can't wait to do it. I'm not that person, right? I just want to make that very clear. So I had to come up with a reason, and it had nothing to do with me. I had to come up with a why about why I'm getting on video. Because when I talk about, and any of us feel those fears, my fears of my friends, my fears of people being smarter than me, my hives, my perfectionism, those are all internal. They're really my issue, right?
Yeah.
The reason I get on video is because I know that I can pour my heart and soul into what I'm saying, and I can change somebody's life. I can make their day a little bit better. I do it for the people watching, not for me. Every single time I get on video for myself, I bomb it. It's awful. It comes off forced. But when I get on video for other people, when I set with, what am I going to talk about today? Who do I want to talk to? What do I hope they receive from this? And I don't even care if it's one person, friends. If I asked you, and please don't tell me no, because this is going to ruin my track record from hundreds of people. Every time I ask, would you be willing to get on video if you could change somebody's moment, their day, their week, their month, their year, their life? Nobody has ever told me no. And the thing is, as women, right, we struggle with doing things for ourselves sometimes, but we will bend over backwards for other people.
Yes.
And so the reason most of us have businesses is because we're doing something to change. We're doing something to support, serve, or help someone. And so when we think about that and we put that in our perspective before we get on video, it's always helped me and help other people, and even the little nerves, right? Like I can work through the nerves if I know this is going to help somebody, because at the end of the day, it's all about serving and supporting and that law of reciprocity.
Yeah. I love that. We talked about this last week. I was talking to a guest expert about self-care just generally, and us as women, we're super pros at doing things for other people, but not super great at doing things for ourselves. And I think self-care is one of those things that we have to like get better at. But when we know that like, hey, when I'm pushing through in this business, no matter how uncomfortable, when I'm pushing through in my marketing by being visible and just showing up and showing myself to the world, I'm making an impact. It really does. It gives you that like extra motivating factor of like, no, this is my calling. Like, this is my mission. I don't know what it's going to look like 10 years from now. I don't know what it's going to maybe look like tomorrow if I'm just launching, but I know that I'm here for a higher purpose, or I'm here to make an impact, and me actually showing up even imperfectly will do that and will serve that mission. So I love that. I love that perspective. Now, can you talk to me, because this is a touchy subject in kind of the circles that I'm in. So I'm interested to get your take.
Okay.
Talk to me about authenticity versus coming across in a more premium or professional or whatever word you want to use way, especially on video. Because I find that people, they think it's either one or the other, but people just have their own very strong opinions, whether it's all about authenticity or all coming off as polished and perfect. And so give me the whole lay of the land with that.
Okay. There's a place for both. And here's where I'm going to start with this. Okay. Number one, I have never tried to stop saying, I have never really been a big, let me overproduce this video. Let me over edit this video, because in my line of business, I want you to see that you don't have to be perfect, right? I want you to see that. But as I have grown, I have gotten intros for my YouTube videos. I've gotten, intros for my podcast. So I've grown and had that production aspect. And sometimes I'll, like, if I am really trying to present for somebody and I'm like, they're using it for a course, Yes, I will use Descript. If you guys have never heard of that, totally will take out all your filler words.
Yep, yeah.
So yes, as if somebody's like paying me or saying, "Can you do this for my course?" I will absolutely edit it a little bit more heavily. But to me, and I think this is just because I started on live video, and if you are watching and you're like, I started with stories or I started with short form video like TikTok and Reels, you may feel this way about those. But to me, there is nothing easier than literally pushing the go live button.
Mm-hmm.
I push the go live and I pour my heart out to my audience. I teach, I serve. And so to me, that's just the easiest. And I'm never say never, because I said I would never get on video. I don't at this point have this interest of being overproduced.
Yeah.
I know just from, I run ads, I do all these things. People prefer more real, not, oh my God, I'm being sold to, right? Like, because I see all these graphics and this pretty music and all this stuff on this video. So I try to be as raw and real as possible. Again, I think there's a place for both. Just like we start in our business and we charge horrible, low rates, and we're not like charging our worth. We're going to evolve. And I think our video will evolve as well. Just like I said, I never had an intro, and now I sometimes forget to use it, but I try to use it on my YouTube videos. Yeah. But it's not a big deal to me because, again, who I am, I'm not trying to be overproduced. But as you evolve, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little bit more produced, taking out the ums and doing those types of things, unless you're trying to teach people to get on video and be themselves and be authentic. Then, like I said, like me, it's just a little bit different, and it doesn't bother me because it is who we are. And sometimes, especially when you're starting out and you're growing a following, this is horrible to say, but the mistakes that you make, the more hot mess that you are, like your kids like rolling up in the video or your dog's barking, it's relatable. And people laugh because they're like, this would totally happen to me if I got on video, right? And you're showing them that it doesn't matter. And so I think when you're building that audience, it's better to be real and raw.
Right. Well, the thing is too, it's like, well, if you just started and say you're a coach, we work with a lot of coaches. So say you're a coach and you're not coming out at like launching this, like, hey, I'm going to help you make, 8 figures in this next year when you haven't done it. Usually people are teaching like how to get to that next level. Maybe they're a couple steps ahead of that level that they're teaching people to get to. But I always tell people they don't expect you to have this huge produced thing on your live streams. Like nobody's expecting that for where you are, especially when you're starting. They know you don't have a team. They know you don't have, if you want to get nerdy with it, like I love that stuff, then cool. But like it's you just going live. People don't have that expectation that you're going to be perfect. They know you're live, so you're going to make mistakes. That's one of my favorite things about live streams, because we have like full editing team, like we can make everything super polished and professional, but I love going live because I can stumble across my words like this and I don't have to worry about cleaning it up later. The expectation is there of imperfection, and it's weird and almost scripted if it's perfect on a live stream, like that's what's so great about them.
Absolutely. When I used to go live and make a mistake, this is what I would do. This is so funny. I'm going to tell you guys my horrible secrets. I would literally, oh my God, I think I'm losing service. Delete the video, like turn the video off, delete it. Go back live. Oh my gosh, I lost you guys. Let me just start over. And now if I say something that I didn't, like, I don't know why I said that. Like, I will literally call myself out. I didn't mean to say that. Like, it's funny how just that growth happens. Like at first you're embarrassed and you're like, cut, like can't, like the phone's disconnecting, like I can't hear you. And now I just like call myself out, and it just is what it is. And I don't delete videos. It's a record. It's like a video diary, right? It's showing my growth. And that's what I've seen over the years when I still keep the Jello shot video, because the Jello shot video shows where I started and it was so bad. But at the time I thought I did really good, right? But it just shows how much, as with everything, the more we do something, the better we get.
I always tell people you've got to suck for a while to be better. Like you're not going to get on your first live stream and it be like on point and something you're going to want to show for the next 10 years, but you have to you can't get to the next step or the next level, no matter how much coaching you have, no matter how much somebody's there to produce it. you can't get to the next level unless you take the steps to get there. And that's just being bad at things for a while, because you don't know what you don't know, you know? So talk to me a little bit about, because I've seen a lot of people, especially, you know, kind of in the coaching space, who have done the work of, okay, I'm going to show up, I'm going to like go live, I'm going to make some videos. Maybe they, you know, they've dipped their toe in the water. They do a few and they don't get any traction, or whatever they perceive traction to be. You know, whether it's new followers or sales, you know, it didn't work is what I hear a lot. You know, I did 10 live streams or did 5, you know, reels, and I like nothing happened. Talk to me about when you hear that. Yeah.
Yes. One of my favorite subjects. Okay. Number one, write this down. If you're watching live or the replay, somebody is always watching. Mm-hmm. The thing is, you're rarely going to get instant gratification, my friends. And if you're in a business to get instant gratification, I'm sorry, but this is not typically what business is about. We all have delayed gratification. And let me prove this to you. Number one, people watch. As an introvert, if I didn't know what commenting and hearting and whatever I'm doing on a piece of content would do for them, I would not do it. It's just not in my nature to draw attention to myself and say, oh, I agree with that, right? It's just not in my nature, but I know what it does as a business owner. So most introverts don't want to draw attention to themselves. There are more likers than lurkers. Always be creating content for those lurkers, because they're lurking, they're watching, they're waiting. They're going to make a move at some point. They're just way quieter than the likers, right? Yep. For instance, back when I first started doing video, I was at the grocery store. A lady walked up to me and started talking to me. And I didn't know who she was, but she clearly knew who I was. We call this a parasocial relationship. Basically, people watch you and watch you and watch you, and they fall in love with you. They feel like they're your best friend, even though you have never had a conversation with them. This has also happened at my daughter's birthday party. So it happens, and I don't always know the people that talk to me. I walk into networking events. People know me. I don't know them. Again, most people are not going to give us that instant gratification. I had somebody who reached out to me and she said, I feel really bad. I have been watching you for over a year. And last year I decided to start doing some of the things that you talked about. And I started getting on video, but I never gave you credit, and I never talked about it, and I never talked to you. And I just want you to know how much you served and supported me. Yeah. So more people will not give you the instant gratification. But also, when I opened up my inner circle for the first time, I was floored at the people that signed up. I had no idea who they were.
Right.
They were willing to give me thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Because we never had a conversation. But here's the thing. I showed up. I was consistent, not pending instant gratification, right? I was consistent. I knew this was that compound effect, right? I knew something was going to happen out of this. So when we are consistent, especially on video, what happens is people are like, dang, she's giving me all this value. She's showing up every single day. What is she going to do when I actually pay her? Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's no fear that I'm not going to show up for somebody when you pay me, because I'm already showing up for you for free. Right. Every single day or every single week or whatever your consistency looks like. Right. So you cannot be pending, I'm only going to get on video if I get X amount of views. How many times have we seen TikTok and Facebook Lives, the views screw up and it shows 0 for like a week, and then all of a sudden everything regulates itself and you're like, oh, there were views on that. So stop watching the analytics. Pour your heart out into your audience. Know that you're always serving. And I promise you, with consistency, you will start seeing results of that video, those lives, those TikToks, those reels, whatever it is that you're doing. You will see the results come through. But we've got to be consistent and be okay with delayed gratification.
I love that so much. I love hearing that too, because I feel like I'm constantly telling people this, especially for like high ticket offers.
Yeah.
I have never had a high ticket client who I knew before. Like they were probably following me or whatever, but they never commented on anything or whatever. Like I put out an application, form, like, hey, if you want to get on a sales call with me, I got this thing coming up. Nobody ever came through that I was like, oh yeah, they comment on my stuff. They've probably seen it, but it means nothing. It's not connected necessarily is right. Kind of the coolest thing about it. And I think that people, they think like, oh, well, it didn't go viral, so it can't make an impact. impact, or it can't get me clients, or things. It's slow burn, and it's like it's building this momentum. You know, it's like the snowball effect. You're not going to start like with a big avalanche. You're going to start with just little, and you're going to roll it, and you're going to roll, and if you keep doing it, and that's true in any part of business. You know, like you're not going to launch your very first program ever and make six figures. I mean, maybe, but like highly unlikely. Yeah. I mean, but you can't be like, well, I didn't make six figures because that guru on YouTube and their first launch, they made seven figures and I suck. You can't compare it. Like it's the snowball effect. Same thing across business. So I'm so glad to hear other people say that, because this is your area of expertise, and we just can't look at those numbers and make any determinations on how we're doing in the short term. So how do people look in the long term to know that their visibility, whether they're doing live streams or whatever they're doing, is actually making a dent or is actually creating some sort of momentum for their business? Because I think a lot of times people just like they look for the feelers of it, like, well, I feel like it. But how do people tell, like, yeah, what you're doing is actually moving your business forward?
So I think there's a couple things. Obviously, at some point you do want to review your analytics, right? But I'm saying when we start out, let's not do that. The other thing that I have found is that people do eventually reach out to you. We can do things like to encourage that by doing polls in our stories, because as an introvert, that's like a safe space. Like, give me a poll on a story because nobody sees it but you. So we can do things like that to see if people are watching and paying attention. But also, I think when we start, it's funny because back in 2016, I don't even know if I knew what a call to action really was. But when we start adding call to actions, and maybe it's starting with that free thing, right? The free offer, the lead magnet, whatever it is, a free challenge. When we start inviting people to that, that's when we start seeing people saying yes, right? And those are their baby steps. And that's okay, because it means that they're paying attention. When I talked about my inner circle, people joined that had no idea who they were. I created this inner circle because I knew two people had bought everything off of me, and I just knew they were going to join. They didn't join, but all these people that have been watching me did. So we can't always use it, again, as the people who have done everything with us so far, because there are those people that aren't. But here's the second thing that I found. When I first started creating video, because I want to talk about content just a little bit. Yeah. When I first started creating video, I wanted to be everybody to like me. Mm-hmm. Everybody to like me. I wanted to be likable and lovable, and I wanted to be the person that everybody wanted to be around. I wanted to be everybody's friend. And what I found was, number one, we're not for everybody. And the more you build up your confidence as a business owner and being on video, you start to realize that. Mm-hmm. Number two, you don't want to be for everybody, right? It's not everybody is your jam, and you're not their jam. But I started realizing I've got to start like activating my audience. Like, I need them to make a move. And I don't care if it's one or two moves. Either say yes to what I have going on, or if I'm annoying you, unfollow me. Right. And so I used to remember being scared about unsubscribes and unfollows. And when Facebook allowed us to be able to see our analytics on our personal page, you guys, I am in heaven, because I know if people hide my content from that piece of content, I know I did my job, because I have triggered them. Because a lot of times people will say, I feel like you're talking to me, and I don't even know them, right? So I'm not really talking to them, but they feel it. And so really the more activating content, because I believe if I can create content that makes people think, that makes them ask themselves questions, or makes them feel like I'm literally talking about them, I've done my job, because we're making them move. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to meet you where you're at. I'm here to help you see where you should be going, right? Because if we're always just, everything's okay, I'm going to meet you where you're at. And I used to say that to my audience. I'm going to always meet you where you're at. No, I want you to see what's possible. I want you to see where you can go with this. I want you to think. I want you to feel like, dang, there's more I could be doing. I want you to feel like, dang, I should raise my prices. I want to activate them to make some type of movement. Even if it isn't click the link, even if it isn't join the program, I want them to move, because guess what? I'm no longer wishy-washy. I'm no longer just so-so. I'm memorable in one way or the other, whether they unfollow me or they start liking my content or they start commenting and saying, dang, I feel like you're speaking to me. So I think the more we can start activating our audience after we get comfortable on video, the more we're going to see them move, the more that we're going to see them engage, the more that we're going to see them join our programs too.
I love that. Yeah, I always say like you need to get the little yeses so you can get the bigger yeses. And once you get
Yeah,
those little yeses and get used to asking for the little yeses, the bigger yeses get easier. And the
absolutely.
thing I always tell people too is the no's get you to the yeses. So like the more people unfollow you, the more people are going to follow you that are your people. The more
Yes.
sales calls you get on where people say no, the closer you get to getting to that yes. It's eventually going to happen. It's just stats. It's just math. You just got to
Right.
actually be willing to ask. Be willing
And we
to
don't
get them to
realize
do things.
those no's are so much louder
Yeah.
because we allow them to play in our head over
Yes.
and over and
Mm-hmm.
over and over. But we forget about the yes after
Yeah.
they join, right? We forget
Yeah.
about that. We forget about how many yeses we got. So we
Mhm.
just let the no's be louder than the yeses, which is
Absolutely.
all things we get to work on.
I love that. So, what's your favorite social media platform for you? And is it the same social media platform that you recommend people start out on if they're kind of new to getting visible?
So obviously the one I started out on was Facebook. I didn't feel comfortable there, but I felt like I could cheat really good there. So
Yeah.
that's where I started and that's where I did most of my business. I'll be honest, it's funny because I have had such a love-hate relationship with Instagram. And matter of fact, I have an Instagram page that has over 10,000 and I just decided I've had this since 2017.
Mhm.
I've been so on off on this. I don't even know if these people follow me now for the thing that I talk about. And I just started a new account. And so I am literally falling back in love with Instagram. And I also love TikTok. I really love short form video, but I also love that now on TikTok, I can put up to 10-minute videos. So
Yeah.
I love TikTok because we can go live. And so those platforms that are ultimately, let's be honest, pushing the video content, right?
Yeah.
Those are absolutely my favorite. And I have a love-hate relationship sometimes with YouTube, but I also love it that now we can do YouTube Shorts. So I feel like everybody's getting on board, and in their mind, they're just all competing with each other. But in my mind, they're actually bringing to the audiences what they want to see anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that like the older I get, the more resistant I am to like the new platforms, but it's so important to follow where people are going. Where's the audience going to be? What are the new features on all of those platforms that
Right.
they're going to be, giving extra juice to? So I I had to hire she actually does like all the things, but she's a little bit younger, so she can like do all the TikToks and the reels, and she
Yeah.
keeps us up to date. So I always tell people, even if it's not like your area of expertise, you can bring on somebody who can help you, whether
Absolutely.
that's following somebody like you, whether that's bringing some on, a VA on, whether that's bringing a social media manager on, partnering with an agency, whatever makes sense for where you are in your business. Like
Yeah.
you've got to, if it's a problem for you, if it's a challenge for you, or it's something's holding you back, then you have to find somebody or something to help you get through that hurdle. And I think that's really, it's part of business generally. You just
Yeah.
you gotta know what the market's doing, no
Yeah.
matter what. You have to, and you gotta follow it.
Support.
Yeah.
If you need support, working smarter, not harder, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. So, Crissy, talk to me about how you specifically, I know that people can come follow you and get a ton of insight and ideas, and like you're somebody who is all about just laying it all out and like just bringing the value, and you don't hold anything back. How do people work with somebody like you? Like if somebody's like me even, who like, hey, I like showing up, or but I just don't know really what to do with it, or somebody even who's like introverted, who can't even seem to get online or get on a video. How do you help them in your own business?
So I've helped hundreds of introverts and actually some extroverts who actually are afraid of video, because they assume if I can help an introvert, I can help them, which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think number one, obviously, being able to feel what they feel.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people teach how to get on video, but literally, I think these people were born like they literally popped out and were ready for camera. Like I really do. And
Yeah.
we know those people, right?
Yeah.
And so it's hard to teach somebody their fears when you've never felt them. And so that's one thing that I can do is I can be very relatable. And a lot of times it's a lot of mindset. I mean, yes, it's like get on camera. This is what you need to do and all this stuff. But it's a lot of mindset work because I've had people who wouldn't even like forget even video. They wouldn't even put their photo in their profile.
I know those people. Yes.
And I'm like, you don't understand. People think you're spam. They will not connect with you. You can't do this. I don't want your kid's picture, your dog's picture. I need your picture there. Like, come on. So really just helping people get over those fears. And again, it's a lot of mindset work. And sometimes it's baby steps. I'll never forget somebody, I got her on video the first time and she read the entire thing. And my heart broke because I was like, we can't do this. But I also knew if I would have read my first Facebook Live and somebody would have called me out on that, I would have never done it again. I'd have been petrified, like, oh my God, like, it's so embarrassing. I'll never try this again. And so I just I didn't say anything. I was like, okay, we're going to do something else. And eventually she got away from that. And it was such a beautiful evolution because thank God I never said anything because again, some people you just don't know how they're going to react to stuff like that. But I let her evolve herself and she got more comfortable. And so thankfully I wish in 2016 we had stories because there's so many other places we can start besides Push and Go Live. And even some people, it's their face. They're so scared to talk or put their face. And I'm like, do behind the scenes. Do voiceovers. Like we have so many tools now that we don't have to immediately put our faces on camera. And I think that really eases a lot of people into it. So really wherever they're stuck or whatever the baby steps we need to move are. But the other thing is that I know one of our other big fears is public speaking, but I have worked with speakers who are petrified of live video. And really? I'm like, you speak to 5,000 people in a room and you're afraid of live video, but they don't have that instant feedback of the facials, right? So they don't know. They feel like they're literally talking to a wall. Yeah. And so we're really, everybody has different issues. And so we always, depending on what their issue is, we get to work on overcoming that and doing what works for them. Some people will never do live video and that's okay. That's okay. And it's funny because I've even evolved because it was like live video. I'm like, do whatever pick your poison, like whatever you want to do, whatever feels good to you, do it. Because if you hate doing something, it's going to show in everything you do. Mm-hmm. Hate and fear are two different things because typically I used to say that video changed my life, but truly getting uncomfortable changed my life. Video changed my business. And so the thing that you're most uncomfortable with doing, the biggest fear you have is probably the thing that you get to do to really move the needle forward in your business.
I love that. So Crissy, where can people follow you? How can they work with you? I know you're always launching and I love that because that's like, man, I love a good launch, right? But give us all the details so that people can get into your world and find more about you, but also start to work with you if this is something that's resonating with them.
Absolutely. So the best place to find everything about Crissy Connor is at thevisibilityqueen.com. That's kind of like my hub. It has how you can get to my free group, how you can get on my texting, how you can get my freebies, how you can get all of my programs that I launch. So everything is really there. I do launch every single month. So I do a micro mastery of something, whether it's launching, whether it's content creation. I have a framework that I use to teach people. I've taught TikTok, like getting more visible on TikTok. So depending on whatever it is that month, you would get it. My next one is going to be Ignite Your Offers. So we can learn the income stack. Really grow our business. So if you can join like any of those programs individually, or you can join my program called Omni VIP, which is a monthly membership, and you get everything. You get access to all of those programs that I launch every single month as long as you're a member.
I love that. And who specifically can work with you? Like who are these offers for? Like what type of entrepreneurs, what type of businesses, what type of folks?
Okay. Awesome. I typically work with women. So obviously we're in a women group, so that works out great. Yeah. And then really, here's the thing. I want somebody who is a go-getter, who is really not going to make excuses, who's very coachable, someone who knows that there's more that can come out of their business. They're just not maybe sure of the right direction to go. So a lot of coaches, I work with a lot of coaches, a lot of service-based businesses that are bombarded with clients, and they're exhausted and they want to create more passive products. So really anybody that has programs or passive products, because that visibility, you becoming the face of your business, you becoming the face of your brand, you becoming the influencer. Let's be honest, I don't care how many followers you have, you get to influence your followers. You get to make an impact on them with your content and the things that you can offer and serve and support them with as you grow.
I love it. Well, thank you, Crissy, for coming on and giving us all of this amazing insight. I can't wait to share this across all of the platforms, because this is stuff that people really need to know. And I think it's just so important. And the things that you talked about, those fears and those things that are holding people back, are so common, but nobody really talks about it, right? Like they just kind of block it out. Like, okay, I know I need to get visible,
right?
But it's going to have to wait, because I got to work on my website, or I got to work on this thing, or I got to take calls, or whatever it is. And
Absolutely.
It's something that you can start doing right away. It doesn't have to be a huge deal. You just have to do it. You just need actionable steps to actually put yourself out there and start. And I love how you help people do that in a way that's not intimidating, that's supportive, but also shows them what's possible. So I hope you'll come back and keep us up to date on all the visibility trends and things that we need to be looking out for.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you. Oh, there's Crissy. So we will see you guys next time as we talk more about digital marketing, visibility, ads, product development, high ticket offers, all the things that we talk about here at She's in Business TV Live. And we'll see you on the next one. We'll also link all of Crissy's information in the description and in the comments after the show, so that you can go follow her and really learn how to get visible, how to step forward in your business as a personal brand, but also that foremost expert and thought leader that you were meant to be. All right, guys, see you on the next one.